Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the old world. I hope you guys are all doing well. And today, guys, we're back with the Greenskin versus High Elf showdown. It's going to be the big old Goblin Great Shaman riding on his spider, facing off against a Lithanar. So it should be quite a bit of fun. Don't get to see that bad boy terribly often. And also this thing here. So we have Debigin, the Rogue Idol. Now, generally, he is considered to be a pretty big meme in multiplayer. However, I think occasionally he can actually be a player in the High Elf matchup. So when the Greenskins face High Elves, oftentimes they might have like static archers in positions like this, and nobody ever expects him, right? So like they're like, okay, I can push up with my archers, my spears, whatever, my cavalry. But with Big Chungus here throwing boulders at them, it really actually changes the dynamic of the matchup. And it's funny because then the High Elves become the aggressors and they have to charge you with their cavalry, at which point you have Stone Trolls and Blackworks. It's a very, very interesting dynamic. Now, I still don't think it's the most optimal way to play this matchup, but I still think it has some teeth, all jokes aside. So in the front, we got double Blackwork. Blackworks are super solid against High Elves. They defeat most of their infantry. They do lose to Swordmasters, I think, head-to-head, but from a cost perspective and just the general functionality, the Blackworks are better. They perform very well against Cav. They're immune to psychology. Blackworks are just such a cool unit. And you can also see I do have the army-wide buff, which is so cool, the Spirit of Gork. So my whole army is getting +4 leadership. So Blackworks, we got double Stone Troll. The Goblin Great Shaman just has Vindictive Glare spam, which is pretty much one of the best spells in the entire game, in my opinion. We got goblins on either side, and we have 4 units of Forest Goblin Spider Riders. So that is it for my army. The Spider Riders are there to counter skirmish, to dive the back line. If he has a dragon, a phoenixes, they basically just fly under those targets and do their thing. So that's it. Now for Hadri's and his army here, he's got Silver and Guard in the front, Rangers on the flanks. It looks like 3 archers as well. He's got a Mage of Rust, and this is pretty common, bringing a Rust caster, because basically what you do from the High Elf perspective, if they come in with spiders, which they mostly do in this matchup, or Stone Trolls even, you Plague of Rust them, you focus them with archers, they die super quick, right? You can put the spider down to 60 armor, at which point basic archers can actually do some good work. And the Mage of Life is just there to heal your Phoenixes, your Dragon Princes. Greenskins typically, can't really contest these heavy cavalry terribly well without spiders and Blackworks. Like if you try and use Orc cavalry, like the Orc Boar Boys, like they just get dumped on by the Dragon Princes. So one here, and that is it. So in the early game here, Lithanar, he certainly has a couple targets to choose from, but it looks like he's going after the Blackworks, which isn't a bad idea. He's killed a couple Blackworks with each shot here. He's basically just like a giant bolt thrower, right? So I do see the Flamespire Phoenix flying overhead. So basically what we're going to be doing is using the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, just kind of poke and stroke that thing and slow it down a little bit. And the big boy is just throwing at the Silver and Guard. I have missed a couple shots, but what's really cool about Rogue Idol ROR, the Debigin, is he can actually create more ammunition by pulling rocks out of his body. It does a little bit of damage, but he's got such a massive HP pool, it's not really that big of a deal. So we do also move up with our Spider Riders, start shooting at a Lithanar, trying to poke him a little bit, and you can see we're just dropping some DACA here on the Flamespire Phoenix. I'm trying to get him to kind of sit still for a second, because what I really want to do is use the Goblin Great Shaman's Vindictive Glare, because it does insane damage against armored targets that are large. Unarmored targets. So we use Don't Even Try, which is basically the Arcane and Forging that is bound to the little goblin here. We get some good damage, and the Arcane Phoenix just kind of swooping down Hadri's with some very fancy micro here, basically picking off and swooping a couple goblins there. But ultimately, we come out ahead on that trade. We also have Vindictive Glare here. Check this out. 3,000 HP down to 2,000. It's a very powerful spell. And actually, after this game is over, I'll make sure to show you guys that in practice. We'll go into a custom battle, and I want to show you guys how that spell really works. Because it is that was an overcast, so it costs about 8 Winds of Magic. But I mean, the fact that we've nuked this Phoenix already, gives us a pretty decent lead in the Balance of Power. And like normally Greenskins, you'd have to advance on this box and really, be putting yourself in the cav charges. But with the big Rogue Idol just going ham, like it changes the matchup a little bit, right? Which is so funny, and it can catch people off guard. Granted, he's memeing too with Lithanar, so there's some memes going both way. A Lithanar, Techless is probably the more common pick here, just for the nets and obviously the regrowths and things like that. But your boy Lithanar looks like he's mainly just shooting at my lord here, and now it's doing some good work. Another Vindictive Glare going down, and it just absolutely nukes that Phoenix, which is also taking quite a bit of damage here from the Forest Goblin Archers. We might be able to break it here. It's very, very low. So yeah, Spider Riders are chasing. Rogue Idol throwing its massive boulder. Here it comes. Silver and Guard going to be blessed by Gork and or Mork. It looks like a couple do receive his blessings. Y'all mind if I praise Gork or Mork? Apparently so. So here it goes. Flamespire Phoenix is broken. We will be using another Vindictive Glare to kill that bird, because I know that thing can come back to life, and if it does, I've wasted a ton of resources, and it will be trolling me from the great beyond here. So trying to juke here, but Vindictive Glare has pretty good tracking. There you go. It nukes the bird. No regrowth, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But we are running low on ammunition. And the Rogue Idol's ammunition does count for a lot in the Balance of Power, so I will have to advance eventually. Or I could just keep, honestly, pulling rocks out of the Rogue Idol. I have a couple options here. Unfortunately for me, though, Lithanar has done some pretty brutal damage against my Goblin Great Shaman, and he still has half ammo. So if he unleashes probably the rest of his ammo here, he could potentially really just troll. Well, apparently Lithanar can't hit the broadside of a barn, but he could. One of the world's greatest archers in all of Warhammer Fantasy just misses like some giant slow-moving spider that's like right next to him. Like some basic like Empire Free Company militia probably would have hit that. Anyways, Lithanar still has gotten good damage, all jokes aside, on my character here, although he is struggling to kind of hit it at a close range here. Maybe he struggles when they get closer? I don't know, we'll see. Marcus Wolfhart loves to miss shots too. So shot going in, and that was a direct hit, and we do also use a Vindictive Glare here. Now you'll notice how Vindictive Glare didn't do that much damage to a Lithanar. It probably did about 200-300 damage. Vindictive Glare works super good against characters that are mounted and can't be knocked over, because if they're not knocked over, and the other shots go over the fallen character, all the missiles hit. But in the case of like foot characters and things like that, it's not really super effective. But if you're expecting lightly armored big targets, it's also not very good against armor. So if you have like a big armored target like Archeon, for example, it won't do that much damage. It's still worth it, but it's not like crazy like it is against the Phoenix. Now if a Lithanar was riding on like a donkey or something, or some sort of a mount, basically the Goblin Great Shaman would be able to nuke him into the Shadow Realm. And you can see it's still cost effective. I mean, we are slowly killing the Lord, right? The Rogue Idol's still just throwing them boulders, man, dropping them bows. We did use the more ammunition, so that's going to get going here. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as there's some skirmishing, basically Spider Riders just kind of poking at the Rangers who are lightly armored. And it's almost like campaign, like wasting the ammunition of the archers, but they're still making contact. But now the mainline fighting will happen, so the Blackworks have to move up, and this is where I start to, suffer a little bit. It might seem like I'm really ahead in this game, but, even despite all those things early on, I'm really not. The Blackworks are getting absolutely melted by the Plague of Rust combo. They're down to a fairly low amount of armor, although it's only basic. But yeah, it still does a shit ton of damage, man. Those Blackworks are really getting crumped. So, kind of, a little bit stressful still, right? So the Stone Trolls move in, start beating on some Rangers here. We have Goblins preparing to intercept the Dragon Princes. And the Blackworks might make it to combat. They might not, but if they do, that's enough to probably kill the Silverin Guard. These Blackworks absolutely dominating the Silverin Guard. And now, of course, we do have the Dragon Princes coming. So what we do here, the Goblins take the charge. I have no choice there. The Goblin Great Shaman will charge in. We get the Spider Riders around the back, and we do have the option to surround here. But with the Stone Trolls coming in, that should be enough to kind of fend those guys off. And we also kind of pull back here. Hadrius has a huge advantage on the flanks with his princes, so we're just trying to like delay those fights for as long as possible. But his damn archers, man, they're really making me pay the price. You can see the Goblin Great Shaman here getting melted, and he's really back in this game. As a matter of fact, Hadrius is ahead on the balance of power. I'm certainly feeling it, right? As the Goblin Great Shaman just gets nuked out there. So yeah, Lithanar plus the Shaman able to do some good work. Now, Princes and company are partying here, but the big Rogue Idol's moving in, baby, and he's got the Space Jam slams. Let's see if he can get it. Here comes the first punch, and oh yeah, there you go. That was a nice one right there. Oh, God, pulverizing those guys. Some big old damage on the Silverin Guard for sure, but the Dragon Princes pull back, and the wah does sound in the valley once more. Well, Lithanar is in combat with Blackworks, so that's actually good for me. The Blackworks might be able to do well, and yeah, all the High Elf characters are in combat with Blackworks, which, he might be able to overwhelm me there. It's a little bit hard to say. So the Rogue Idol still just trying to clap here. The wah is active, another Plague of Rust down. So this Rogue Idol does have 60 armor, which makes it relatively squishy, but something really funny about Rogue Idols, guys, is the fact that when they're damaged, they actually do more damage. So you'll see as he gets hurt, his damage went up to 780, and that actually gets up like, yeah, I believe a little bit over 1,000. It's pretty insane. So we do kind of break up this flank a little bit, and now we got some Spider Riders that can pressure into the archers, and our big Goblin Great Shaman just kind of cackling at the back there, living his best life, and the Stone Trolls really being super effective against the Princes. Stone Trolls, of course, hit very hard, able to kick some of these archers, give them a nice old college try. The Rogue Idol, Plague of Rust is now gone, so he's back to his relatively tanky self. Granted, the Rogue Idol does also lose armor over time, because basically, like, the rocks crumble, and he gets a little bit less stable. That's kind of the whole thing here. So, Vindictive Glare going down from the Goblin Great Shaman. We do hit a Lithanar, doing about 300-400 damage. That was an overcast, a little bit risky. I could potentially kill my own character. And the Princes are broken and terrified, which is nice. Rogue Idol kind of struggling to get into a blob. He waddles, he gets stuck on spiders, but the Stone Trolls and Blackworks really proving to be an incredible anchor here. So here it comes, slap at the base there. We're able to get the Mage of Metal, and I did see some fresh fish in here. So basically the Mage of Life is chilling. And the Rogue Idol will, stomp some of these Dragon Princes. It gets 3 of them right off there with that one attack. Really nice. And now the Mage of Life is most certainly dead. And I feel at this point, we're probably going to lose the Goblin Great Shaman, so I move it in. Could have been a mistake, honestly, but, Hadrius had a fair amount of mobility in the open field with his Princes and Spears. So I figured if I got charged by Princes, I would just die anyway. So I was like, let's go in for one last charge. Now, Rogue Idol trying to body slam a Lithanar, but him getting tumbled there does indeed save him. Stone Trolls piling in, getting on them archers, but they're almost out of ammo, so at this point, just kind of leave them alone. Let them use the last of their ammo. They've already done their damage, right? So I do try and save the spider here. I pull in some spider riders to help the big boy, but a little bit of a dumb play because in the end, the Dragon Princes, there's 2 of them here. He would just overwhelm me and continue chasing off the Shaman. Really, this game, which is dead even at this point, is going to be put on the back of the Rogue Idol. The Rogue Idol, I think, still certainly has the capability to carry this. If we can get in here, kill the 2 characters, the Mage of Metal and the Mage of Life. Lithanar's out of ammo, and he's pretty useless once he runs out of ammo. Yeah, he has decent combat stats, but I find that he just, like, it doesn't do very well. So that mage is shattered. The Rogue Idol crumping that mage, and now this other one. Oh, you're in trouble, baby. Here comes the body slam. Give it to us. Give us the body slam. We all want it. That looks like it's going to be the big punch. Oh, he held back there at the last second. I don't know what's going on with this Rogue Idol. Perhaps he's become a pacifist, but there goes the power fist. It does miss, unfortunately, but the mage is wavering. It's looking pretty grim for that caster for sure. We have enough Stone Trolls and Black Orcs here that we should be able to chase that character off. Now, for the High Elf Force, we have some Silvern Guard, we have a Dragon Princes, and a couple Archers coming back, which is actually a little bit of a problem. Might have enough ammo to threaten the Rogue Idol, which is now down to 90 armor, 960 weapon strength, which is quite hilarious for sure. And the Mage of Metal does get broken. So here comes the Rogue Idol, dropping some atomic slams right there, and the Stone Trolls moving in and just absolutely crumping these different targets. We do also move over here. Silvern Guard gonna get clapped up. Oh my god, that's so funny. The Stone Trolls getting clapped as well, but I don't believe it really does damage to them. It just kind of staggers them. And the Prince is moving in for the kill. Down to 1900 HP, very, very low here, but the Stone Trolls over here, able to kill the Archers. I figured I had to shut them down. If they were able to just shoot, the Rogue Idol would die. But now the Rogue Idol is rampaging, which is a little bit unfortunate. So this Rogue Idol could be going after any number of targets, and I can't keep it with my Stone Troll blob, which I have to say was very, very depressing. I was like, oh god. Because with these units, you know, it's giving you like this really nice backbone. Your opponent comes in, he gets terror-routed, but now it's just kind of waddling after random shit. And it gives Hadri's the opportunity to potentially get back in this game. We're pretty well ahead on the balance of power, but balance of power is a fickle thing, and trolls have bad leadership, and he still has mobility, so if I get surrounded, you know, I could potentially just break on the troll department. So we break the Princes there. Black Orcs here still fighting, Stone Trolls here are wavering, and you see what I'm talking about? Exhausted trolls in the late game, and suddenly, like, I'm behind on the balance of power. I was like, how is this game falling apart? Thought I had this. And the Rogue Idol's just like, all right, well, screw it. If you guys are going to break, I'm going to break too. So the Rogue Idol just decides to run for the hills, and the Stone Trolls break, and I lost the game. I couldn't believe it. Hadri's and I were in chat together, and I was like, how did that happen? Maybe I should have been more careful with the Stone Trolls, not let them get surrounded. Or maybe, probably the smart play would have been, which I think could have won me the game, would have been to get the Stone Trolls and go follow the Rogue Idol around. So even if it's rampaging, I can stay with it. That was a big misplay that cost me the game. To be honest, though, I just thought I had it, right? I was like, oh, this is over. Like, the bounce power is like set 65% in our favor. But you never know, man. Never say die, man. Hadri scrapped really well with his Princes. Despite losing his Phoenix early, he came back and won it. It was a great game, man. Super fun for sure. Now, what you're all here for is the Rogue Idol value. 2,300. Didn't quite pay for itself, but, you know, he sent a message with those boulders. Black Orc, 1,700, 745, 1,700 here. You know, they all did their part for sure. And the little Stone Trolls Stone Trolls are just solid. Like, if you wanted to go more meta, you would do something like this. Bring probably another Stone Troll. Maybe some sort of, you could even, just more infantry, more width, more pressure, basically. But yeah, triple Stone Troll with Goblin Great Shaman to deal with the single entities. You could even go double Spider if you want to. That can be pretty overwhelming. Like this plus a Ragnarok Queen. So you cut the Rogue Idol, get a Queen, and then like some more Chaff units. There's any number of ways to play it, but it's really fun, man. I love using that Rogue Idol. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Certainly one of the more fun games I've had in quite some time. And we'll be back with more videos soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the big Chungus in action. Let me know if there's any factions you feel are neglected. Poor Dark Elves, I never play them. I just don't enjoy playing Dark Elves. I don't know what it is. I don't like using Repeater Crossbow Cav. It's just how it is, man. But I'll try and get some more. Maybe we'll get some like Hydra games, some Malice games, things like that. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and take care, my friends.